The title of this book is Gianne's Cookbook. It is a gnome book and a cookbook on gnome food. It is obtained in the gnome stronghold, and at the end I'll have some tips on special uses for this food and how it heals compared to other foods. Gianne's Cookbook. Gnome bowls, chocolate bomb, tangled toad legs, wormhole, veg balls, gnome crunchies, worm crunchies, choc chip crunchies, spicy crunchies, toad crunchies, gnome battas, worm batter, toad's legs batter, cheese and tomato batter, fruit batter, vegetable batter. Chocolate bomb. Knead a ball of Gianne dough into a gnome bowl mold. Bake this briefly. Decadently add 4 bars of chocolate to the bowl and top with 1 sprig ecoli. Bake the bowl in the oven to melt the chocolate. Then mix 2 big dollops of cream and finally sprinkle chocolate dust all over. Chocolate is a relatively recent cooking ingredient for gnomes, having been imported from human lands. Tangled toad's legs. Shape a portion of fresh Gianne dough into a gnome ball mold. Bake this until it is slightly springy. Add to the bowl 4 pairs of toad legs, 2 portions of cheese, 2 sprigs of ecca leaves, 2 dashes of gnome spice, 1 bunch of dwellberries. Bake the dish in the oven once more prior to serving. Tangled toad's legs was a special dish created by gnome chef Dealey to celebrate the first Healthorg the Great Day. Wormhole. Starting with a gnome bowl mold, shape a portion of fresh Gianne dough into a rough bowl. Bake this until it is firm to the touch. Add to the bowl 4 king worms, 2 onions, and a dash of gnome spices. Bake the bowl in the oven once more. To finish the dish, simply add a topping of ecca leaves. Worms are specially favored by gnomes as they purportedly aid virility. Vej Ball. As with all gnome ball dishes, throw a ball of fresh Gianne dough into a mold. Bake this as usual. Bake this briefly. Add to the bowl 2 onions, 2 potatoes, and a dash of gnome spices. Bake the bowl in the oven once more. To finish, simply top with ecca leaves. Vegetable dishes are seen as luxurious food since most of gnome history growing vegetables was harder than finding toads and worms. Worm Crunchies. Using a crunchy tray, form a portion of the Gianne dough into small, evenly sized balls. Heat these briefly in an oven. Mix into the dough balls 2 king worms, 1 sprig of ecca leaves, and a shake of gnome spices. Bake the crunchies for a short time in the oven. Sprinkle generously with gnome spices to finish. Crunchies were invented accidentally by Pukame, who was Dealey's assistant before his sacking. He started a successful crunchy making business before dying in a bizarre terror bird accident. Choc chip crunchies. Fill up a crunchy tray with balls of Gianne dough. Heat these briefly in a warm oven. Break up 2 bars of chocolate and mix these with the balls of dough. Next, add a little gnome spice to each ball. Bake the crunchies for a short time in the oven. Top the crunchies with a sprinkling of chocolate dust to finish. A large chocolate stain covers the rest of the page. Spicy crunchies. Using a crunchy tray, form a portion of Gianne dough into small, evenly sized balls. Heat these briefly in a warm oven. Add a generous shake of spice and 2 sprigs of ecca leaves to the dough balls. Bake the crunchies for a short time in the oven. Sprinkle a load more gnome spice over the cookies to finish. The special mix of herbs and spices in gnome spice is a closely guarded secret. It is rumored to contain, the rest is scribbled out. Toad Crunchy. Fill a crunchy tray with Gianne dough as normal. Heat these briefly in a warm oven. Mix into the dough balls 2 pairs of toad's legs and a shake of gnome spices. Bake the crunchies for a short time in the oven. Finish the crunchies with a sprinkling of ecca leaves. When Pukame first made toad crunchies, everyone thought he was mad. Chewy toads in crunchies? It'll never work, they said. How wrong they were. Worm Batter. First, take some fresh Gianne dough and place it in a batter tin. Bake the dough until it is lightly browned. Take 1 king worm, some gnome spice, and a little cheese. Add these to the batter before briefly baking it in the oven once more. Finish the batter with a topping of eka leaves. Batters are usually cooked by gnome mother during cold winter months. Toad's Legs Batter. Mold some Gianne dough into a batter tin. Bake the tin until it is almost cooked. Next, add some primed toad legs, a sprig of eka leaves, and some spice along with some cheese to the batter. Bake the batter in the oven once more and serve hot. Toad's legs batters are sometimes called toad in the hole. Apparently, there is a similar human dish that uses sausages. How odd. Cheese and tomato batter. Place some Gianne dough in a batter tin. Bake it as normal. Top the plain batter with equal quantities of cheese and tomato. Place the batter in the oven once more until all the cheese has melted. Finish the dish with a sprinkling of eka leaves. The combination of cheese and tomato was discovered by the explorer Wingstone while he was visiting the human lands. Apparently, it's used a lot in a strange flat human dish called a pizza. Vegetable batter. Place some Gianne dough in a batter tin and bake as normal. Add to the plain batter 2 tomatoes, 1 onion, 1 cabbage, and some dwell berries. Top the batter with cheese and briefly place it in the oven once more. Finish the dish with a sprinkling of eka leaves. There's no better batter than a vegetable batter. Alright, and we've reached the end of the Gianne Gnome Cookbook. I hope you guys found that as entertaining as I did listening to it, as I did making it. This was more of a light-hearted book, so I had a little bit of fun with this one. I hope you guys don't mind taking away from the seriousness of the lore a little bit with a little humorous cookbook. For those of you who stuck around to the end here, as promised, here's some uses for these foods. They are very cheap, and the first 2 foods that I covered in the beginning of this video, the Choco Bombs and the Tangled Toad Legs, heal 14 each, and they can be purchased from the shop for only 120 to 140 coins each, which in Deadman mode is a lot cheaper than lobbies. And they heal 14 each, and you can combo eat with them as if they were Kawamblans. So you can go lob, chocolate bomb, and heal 24 health in 1 food tick. So there's some Deadman mode advice for you. These would also be decent food for early starting Iron Men who maybe trained thieving first, and then as they're getting into combat they might not have a steady food supply and don't necessarily feel like fishing. This is a great viable alternative for Iron Man. I think its main use would be in Deadman mode, but if you're an Iron Man that's, say, maybe stocking up on your giant keys and about to fight the Obor boss, the Hill Giant boss, then some combo eats like this gnome food would be great. I wouldn't really mess with the Crunchies or the Batas, but the other 2 gnome foods, the wormholes and the Vej Balls, if you don't feel like hopping around a whole lot because the shop only has 3, then you could get those ones too. The wormholes and the Vej Balls, they heal 12, so it's not as bad as the 14. Actually, 12 and 14 is 26. That's what a lobby would heal in 1 tick, not 24. I apologize on bad maths there. Just dawned on me. But at any rate, I hope that is useful for you. I hope you enjoyed this audiobook. It was fun for me making it. Hope it was fun for you listening to it. And I'll see you soon with the sequel, which is the cocktail guide, where I go over all the drinks you can make in the Gnome Bar. I don't know if I'll do the same method for that one as I did for this one, but we'll see how it goes. Peace, guys. And always remember, there's no better bata than a vegetable bata. There's no better bata than a vegetable bata than a vegetable bata bata than a vegetable bata than a vegetable better bata than a vegetable bata. There's no better bata than a vegetable bata